Welcome to the psychological analysis of the movie Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, who believes his Golden Globe winning movie is about kindness and empathy. Arthur Fleck's life is a Rubik's Cube of psychological problems. This movie is a sad psychological drama depicting the suffering of a man who was wronged and got it wrong. Fleck was an amateur stand up comedian and professional clown. He lost access to his medication and therapist, causing him to succumb to madness. His job contradicts his feeling, which he hides behind the makeup. He was beaten up by others physically and emotionally all his life. The result of his abusive treatment from the people of the Gotham City gradually makes him sociopathetic, leading him to become the vengeful anarchist Joker. So let's decode more about Arthur's mental illness.
Arthur appears to have a complex mix of features of certain personality traits. When we met Arthur Fleck, he has a laundry list of clinical symptoms. We find in him low self-esteem, paranoia, socially atypical, depressed mood. In the movie, Arthur engages in fantasies constantly. In addition to the delusions, Arthur suffers from low self-esteem. For instance, he wants, at least for most of the movie, to be a stand-up comedian, but believes there is no use practicing since he will fail anyway. This is called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is a surrender response. It's caused by the belief that nothing you do matters anymore. Finally, he has no person with whom he can honestly share his feelings.
In this psychological thriller, we see Arthur Fleck as a mentally unstable man suffering from isolation and bullying from his peers since childhood, and he continues to battle with his inner demons. We get to see that in The Dark Knight, the Joker is a loner, glib, unemotional, and very violent. These behavioral traits are very consistent in psychopathy. Psychopathy is the most dangerous of all antisocial personality disorders. Psychopaths are unable to form emotional attachments or feel real empathy with others and make few mistakes that are never undone by their emotions. The theory of Albert Bandura, in which he said that the world and the person had an effect on each other, it can be seen in the movie that the bullying from peers and isolation by people had a negative and worse impact on the art.
The worst and horrendous of all was Arthur's laughing condition called pseudobulbar effect. The condition is characterized by brief, uncontrollable outbursts of crying and laughter that are incongruent with the patient's feelings of sadness or joy. Because of this condition, we saw that Arthur met so many problems and was even brutally beaten up.
The psychopathology Arthur exhibits is unclear, preventing diagnosis of psychotic disorder or schizophrenia. This disorder affects a person's ability to think and behave clearly. Arthur becomes not who he was born to be, but who he was raised to be, a victim of parents' wishes and actions who is dead and hurting inside, with a big fake smile for the outside world and his mother. To Arthur, the world is an evil lie and he shares himself with the world, dead inside and tormented.
Arthur Fleck is an unreliable narrator, and there's evidence to suggest that the most part of the movie was hallucinated by him. The word hallucination means to wander mentally. Hallucinations are actually sensory experiences that appear real but are created by our own mind. For instance, Arthur, while watching movie with his mother, hallucinates that his ideal comedian Murray Franklin calls him out to the stage, gives him a hug and appreciates his effort, which he puts in taking care of his mother.
With this psychological analysis, the most important is the message that Arthur Fleck as a Joker wants to convey to the world is that the society needs to be more supportive to those in need of psychological and medical care. The Joker movie leaves a very strong message that kindness will save the world, or at least those people around you who need a hug instead of an arrogant smile. Compassion and empathy can go a long way, making yourself a happier person. The Joker is every one of us, as the Joker said, no matter what the situation is, always wear a smile.